Hello my sweet reader friends and welcome back to my channel. I am currently in the middle of about 16 series, give or take a few. And that's just way too many to be in the middle of. I mean, given some of these books, the entire series is not out yet, but still, that's just way too many series to be in the middle of. I need to finish a few, so that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. I have some very popular series that I'm in the middle of. I have some more unpopular series that I'm in the middle of, or I guess lesser known, not unpopular. The first series that we will be continuing in today's video is The Prison Healer, so I'm on the second book, which is The Gilded Cage. The first book, I think I gave like a 4-star if I can remember correctly. Sarah Crowley has read this and raved about it, and I've also seen a lot of really good things on like Bookstagram and just around booktube in general. I enjoyed the first book. It was my favorite, but I definitely liked the whole concept. I liked our characters. I thought it ended very well. It got me very excited to read the next book. So in the first one, we were following our main character Kiva, and Kiva is in this very dangerous prison. Your lifespan in this prison is very short, and outside of the prison there is kind of this like rebel group that is, you know, wreaking havoc on the city. And then one day the rebel queen gets dragged into the prison, but Kiva's family on the outside sends a letter in with her saying don't let her die and that they are coming to get her out of this prison. But in order to keep the rebel queen alive, Kiva kind of volunteers herself to go through these, like, it's called trials of ordeal, I think. It's where she pretty much has to, you know, like defy the elements. But the way it ended was just, it was a cliffhanger. So I had to go into the next book pretty quick after that. I'm currently 100 pages in, and so far I'm really enjoying this book, but I will say our main character in this book is a little bit deceptive, and she's kind of betraying someone. And it's pretty much just one of those situations where you're like, this will not end well. So you're kind of just waiting for things to like blow up. So just very interested to see kind of where this goes. I am almost done with this book. And so far, okay, like I like this book, but I also kind of feel like not a whole lot has happened, but it's still very like high stakes and fast paced because there's like a secret, I guess, that cannot really be found. I'm trying to like word this in a way that doesn't give spoilers, but like I said earlier, you're just kind of like waiting for things to like get really bad because you know that like this literally is not going to end well. The entire time I just want to slap Kiva, our main character. I'm like, girl, you know better. You know better. But at the same time, I'm also kind of eating it up. I only have about 100 pages left, so I think for the remainder of the night, I'm going to go take a bath, wind down, relax, but I'm going to read as much as I can while I'm in the bath. Have a little spa night, if you will. But I don't usually like to bring physical book copies in the bath because I just don't want them to get ruined. And my Kindle is actually dead, so I'm going to be reading on my iPad. Oh, are you wondering where I got my super adorable case? Well, let me tell you. It's from Burga, who is actually kindly the sponsor of today's video. All of my electronics are covered in Burga because they're protective, super cute, and something else that I really like about them is that they are against waste, so every case is made to order. They release designs based on trends, so you know you're always getting the newest and cutest, and celebrities like Taylor Swift and Lucy Hale have been seen using Burga, so you know they're good. I feel like the whole like cowboy, western, like cutesy theme has really been big this year, so I got this floral case from their new Honey collection, which is western inspired. I have been obsessed with patterns lately, like checkered, stars, florals, and stripes. So these designs and colors were just absolutely perfect for me. I also love that you can have all your electronics match to create a very cohesive look. I've had these cases on for a couple weeks, and with my clumsiness, they have held up really well because of their Cloud Guard technology, which absorbs up to 90% of the impact force. I also really like how the Elite cases have this like soft interior, protecting the back from scratching as well, and the Tough cases have these 2-part silicone exterior and hard shell exterior. They also have these raised bezels for extra protection, which I really appreciate because the camera is one of the main things that I, as a content creator, use on my phone, so it's one of the most important things to protect. Burga is having a deal where you get 4 cases and only pay for 2. So if you're looking to upgrade to newer and cuter electronic accessories, definitely take advantage of this deal and use my code FAITHX15 for an additional 15% off, as well as the get 4 pay for 2 deal. And you can get all that by clicking the link down in my description. Thank you so much to Burga for sponsoring today's video, and thank you for keeping me looking cute and stylish. I'm gonna head into the bath now and read the rest of this book, and then I'll update you guys with my final thoughts very soon. I finished The Gilded Cage last night. I think I think I'm gonna give it a 4-star. This book, although, like I said earlier, I don't feel like a whole lot happened, the ending of both of these books so far has packed a punch. Like, the ending of this book, like the first book, made me want to just immediately jump into the next one. It left on such a cliffhanger. And there were some plot twists that I was not really expecting, which was really nice. I feel like this was a really good bridge book in between the first and the third books, because in this one, I feel like we kind of learned more of like the background and some of the magic and just like more of the politics, I guess, just like the way things kind of operate. And I feel like it's set up a lot for whatever's gonna happen in the next book. Just the heartbreak and the betrayal that happens in this book literally makes me want to cry because I love the characters so much. So I definitely still really enjoyed this one. This isn't like my favorite fantasy series, but it is like a 4-star series for me so far. I don't know. The third book might be a 5-star. You never know. Now that that one is done though, I'm going to be continuing my next series, which is Legend. So the first book is Legend and then the second book is Prodigy. So I'm currently on the second book. The first one follows our main characters June and Day. It is a dual POV book. And basically this is like a dystopian novel. So it's set, I don't know exactly what year it is, but there is a new government that's called, I think, the Republic. Day is technically like the most wanted criminal, and June is kind of higher up in society, I guess I would say. So June's brother is higher up in the military, and he ends up getting killed, and they think that Day did it, and that kind of brings June and Day together, but apparently the Republic is trying to keep them apart for some reason. So throughout the book, we were kind of trying to figure out like what the truth is, all that, and like what secrets people are hiding, I guess. The system, I guess, kind of reminds me of Shatter Me in a way. The first book, I think I gave it like a 3.75, maybe a 4-star. I just felt like in the first book, like what was in the synopsis of the book wasn't like really a big part of the book, I guess I would say. Like that problem, I feel like wasn't really that big of a focus point in the book. So I don't know, I just feel like it wasn't exactly what I expected it to be, but I still really enjoyed it. And I've heard that it just gets better from there. So I'm going to start this book now and then update you guys with some thoughts when I'm a little bit more of the way through. So this morning we went to one of my favorite coffee shops and we got a little bit of reading done. I got about 65 pages into Prodigy and so far I am really enjoying it. But I will say I don't usually like reading series like too far apart because then I forget literally everything that happened in the previous book and then I just go into the next book very confused. So I feel like that definitely happened with this book. Like I remember some of the bigger plot points, but like when they start talking about some people's names and just like different locations and things and different like politics, I guess, like I just get so confused and I'm like, okay, wait, who is this person and where are they from and what is this other group called? And I get so lost. So I feel like it's definitely taken me a little bit of time to readjust, and I have to look up the whole like summary, I guess, of Legend because there are, I feel like, some things that I forgot that I just want to like a little refresh. But yeah, so far enjoying it. I feel like this is definitely something that I'm like currently in the mood for, especially after reading a fantasy. I always need to break up books with like different genres, so if I read a fantasy I need to read something else. So this is a good book to read in between the first and third books that I'll be reading in this video because the next book that I'm reading in this video will be taking a lot of brain power, but I'm very excited for it because it's one that I've been putting off for a long time. But after we went to the coffee shop, I went to one of my favorite lunch places and I picked up my favorite salad. And this is just like your average green salad, but it has, I think, pecans or maybe walnuts. I don't know what kind of nut is on there. But then it also has carrots, pickled onion, and chicken. And it's, the dressing that they use, it's some kind of like lemon vinaigrette. I don't know what it is, but it is so good. And then I also got my favorite cucumber soda. I'm very sad because they don't sell this cucumber soda like individually. They only sell it to restaurants. I believe it's called Tractor, but I'm waiting for them to sell it individually because I have to go to this restaurant and get it every time I crave it, which is all the time. I love this soda so much. It's like a more natural soda, so it's not like high fructose corn syrup, no dyes or anything. And the cucumber flavor with lemon in it, oh, But anyway, yeah, that was like my morning and afternoon. Right now it's only about 1 o'clock, so I'm going to eat my lunch and then I'm going to binge read a lot of this book because I do really want to finish it by tomorrow. I am now about 75% of the way through Prodigy. I think I was getting really lost because there's like the Republic, which is like the government, and then there's the colonies, which I don't even know exactly how to explain them, and then there's like the rebel group. So there's like 3 different groups of people here that we're trying to follow, or I guess like keep track of, and I just got so lost as to like which one was. But now I'm kind of understanding. I don't know if I'm entering some kind of small reading funk or if the books in these series are both similar, like they're both just kind of like bridge books. So I'm kind of getting similar feelings for this one that I did with the Gilded Cage, where this book just seems kind of like a bridge book to like bigger stuff that's gonna happen in the last one. Or I don't know if this is a 4-book series or a 3-book series, but either way it does feel kind of like a middle book to where it just builds up to whatever like the big stuff is gonna happen in the next book. But this one is still pretty fast paced. There's a pretty like intense thing that is happening in this book, but I still kind of feel like the chapters leading up to this mission, I guess I would say, felt a little bit slow for me. It's weird because I feel like I'm starting to not really like one of our characters, which I thought, especially after the first book, that I would really like them, but I don't know. The way that they're acting in this book, I don't know if I love it. There is also like the slightest kind of love triangle. Very, very, very subtle, and I wouldn't even almost consider it a love triangle, but there's some confused feelings, I guess I would say, which has been very interesting to read about. I am getting to like the really intense parts right now, and I'm very curious as to what is going to happen next and how this is going to end. So despite everything I just said, I am enjoying this book, and I do really like this series. I'm going to finish this really quick though, because I only have about 100 pages left, and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts. Hello, my sweet friends. I have finished Prodigy, and I think I am just in a weird funk because things just aren't like hitting like I know they normally would. So I don't know what's up with that, but I tried to just like move past that in my brain and really just like get immersed in the story for the last like 25%, and I think I'm going to end up giving this like a 4.25, maybe a 4.5, I don't know. I'll have to think about it when I'm like out of this weird funk, but for now I think probably a 4.25. I do think that this set up a lot for the next book. Okay, so there are, I believe, 4 books in the Legend series. So there's Legend, Prodigy, Champion, and Rebel. So the way that this book ended, the last like 25% of this book, since I updated you guys last, I feel like a lot of things just like switched up on us, like things that we thought were a certain way are not a certain way, and people we thought we could trust are not who we could trust, and it was just a lot of like, whoa, what is going on? And there's kind of a bomb that gets dropped on us at the end of the book, and I'm very interested to see how that affects the story going forward. I think once I realized I was in a funk, I kind of like acknowledged it and then processed it a little bit and then tried to enjoy the book as much as I could, which I feel like helped my overall experience. Definitely excited to go into the next one. I also forgot that there was a map in the beginning of the book. So this kind of shows like where the Republic and where the colonies are, which I feel like that kind of helped me understand like what they were talking about. But now that this is done, it's time to continue our next series. It's happening. I've been so scared to read this book just because I feel like well, first of all, it's chunky. She's a big girl. She's thick. Second of all, I feel like this book is going to require so much brain power, and I feel like there's just gonna be so much that is going to happen in this book that I'm a little bit intimidated by it. You know, that's a lie. Very much intimidated by it. I did love A Court of Mist and Fury though, so I was really excited to get into the rest of the series. I've heard from a lot of my in-person book friends that this one is their favorite book of the series, so I'm very interested to see if I will agree or disagree with that. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna go start it. We've got 700 pages to read in a few days, so probably update you guys when I'm like 100 or 200 pages in. I'm now on chapter 20, which is page 209 of A Court of Wings and Ruin. So far, it's really hard to say because I am not even like a third of the way through this book yet, but I don't know. I feel like I liked A Court of Mist and Fury so far better, but I still see so much potential in this book, and I feel like there's a lot that is going to be happening coming up. Like, we're just barely scratching the surface of the things that are going to be happening in this book. I do really love the like found family in this series. I really like all of our characters, and I think especially after what happened at the end of the last book, it kind of brings a lot of new, I kind of want to say new perspective, but that's not the right word, but just like what happened within Feyre's family, I guess I would say. I'm just really interested to see like how that all plays out. I really wish though that we got multiple POVs in this series, because I would love to see like Cassian's point of view and Nesta's point of view. Like, I kind of don't love the fact that we're only getting Feyre's point of view, which I know that kind of changes in the later books. I am a little bit lost as to like what's going on and like why we're going to war and like all this stuff, but I feel like I just need to do a little refresher on A Court of Mist and Fury, and then I'm sure like more things will be explained like as I keep on reading. I feel like in series like this, it's literally an entire world, so there's just so much that you have to learn and keep track of, and I do really feel like it could take 3 books to really get a grasp on like everything in this world. This book is also kind of making me appreciate big books, because although like normally I'm more of a like, okay, let's get to the point type of person, but when it comes to series like this where, like I just said, there's like an entire world and families and these characters that you're really invested in, you want more of the story. You want to just be immersed, you know, with them and in this world for as long as possible. And so like now I'm kind of understanding the hype, I guess, around like longer books. I don't know if that means I will be reading a lot more longer books this year. I mean, that is definitely on my list of goals, is to not be afraid of bigger books. Anyway, I still have a lot of this book to go. With more intimidating books like this, I do like to put little sticky tabs like where I need to read each day in order to like reach a deadline of like when I want this to be done. So I tabbed like every 150 to 200 pages. So for today's reading, I have about 100 pages left. So I'm going to get that finished tonight, and then probably not update you until I'm done with tomorrow's reading, because then that'll put me at about page 500, and this is a 700 page book. So I will update you guys tomorrow. Okay, so I am currently on part 3, which is, I believe, page 500 and... Nope, that's not it. 482. So far, I am still really enjoying it. I am definitely getting more like immersed in this world and definitely like more connected to the characters. But I will say, there are so many people that I have to keep track of right now that I'm getting I need a map of just all of the people, all of the courts, all of the rulers of the courts and the I need a spreadsheet. I need a Google spreadsheet made yesterday, because there is just too many people and things to keep up with. I feel like things are starting to really heat up right now. I mean, something relatively big just happened at the end of part 2. So I feel like that is what's really gonna get the ball rolling with like the action and like the main parts of the story. I have liked seeing the alliances being made and just like the courts all like kind of talking as one. It's very entertaining, to say the least. Except for also, I feel like something that I'm noticing in this series is that it is very sex-centered. I feel provocative saying that in my video, but I don't know how else to explain it. Like, I just feel like it's just talked about a lot, and there's like random smut that I'm not really liking and I don't see the point of. And in a lot of conversations, it's like, well, this person was with this person and this person was between these body parts, and it's too much, dude. It's too much. So really not vibing with that, if I'm being completely honest. I also feel like some of the drama seems a little petty, especially when like certain people are talking to each other. Rating prediction, I feel like this might end up being like a 4 or a 4.2 4.25. It really depends on the ending. I think I did like A Court of Mist and Fury better, but this one is also very good so far. Do I think this series is a little bit overhyped? Yes. Just personally, in my opinion, for me. But I still think it's a really great series, and I am glad that I picked it up and that I'm continuing it in this video. I do have a little bit over 200 pages left until I'm done with the book, so I would like to finish it tonight, but realistically, I don't know if that's gonna happen. So if I don't tonight, I'm just gonna read as much as I possibly can, and if I don't finish it tonight, I will be finishing it tomorrow morning. So I will give you guys my final thoughts soon. Guys, I am so proud of myself because I just finished A Court of Wings and Ruin. This book has been one of the most intimidating books on my TBR since I read A Court of Mist and Fury last year. I have like so many thoughts, but also so little words to like articulate these thoughts. First of all, I think I recuse my previous statement of I don't necessarily think that this book is extremely overhyped. I think that it's just overshared about, because like I get the hype of it, but I don't necessarily get the obsession over it. I think that the series is definitely like extremely glorified, and I don't know if I agree with that like to that extent, but to each their own. We don't judge here. We like what we like, and that's okay. We're obsessed with what we're obsessed with, and that's okay. I think I last updated you when I was at part 3, so that was like almost page 500. So within the last 200 pages, it definitely extremely picked up, and I felt like I definitely got a lot more invested. I absolutely love the characters' relationship in this book. Like the found family, I feel like is just so strong, and I really admire that and just love that about these characters. I loved seeing the sisters, Nesta and is it Eileen? No. Elaine. The other one I think is in Throne of Glass, but Elaine and Nesta, I just love their characters and learning more about them and seeing more of them, seeing kind of who they became, and I don't know, just that whole thing was super fun. I am still a little bit confused on some things. Like I still don't fully understand stuff, but again, like I said before, I feel like I just need to do like a full-on recap or just like look some stuff up to kind of clarify. I was very satisfied with this ending. I feel like there wasn't really like loose ends. It felt like pretty complete. I am on the fence if I want to continue the series or not though, because I've just heard that A Court of Silver Flames is just primarily smut. So I don't know. I just like, in my personal opinion, if I have to skip over like a lot of chapters and a ton of scenes, then it's just not really like worth reading in my opinion. So I don't know. I'm on the fence about that. I'm gonna think about it some more and see if I want to finish it or not. But I think I'm gonna hit her with a 4.5, 4.25 or 4.5. I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know. I have to think about it some more. I feel like the first 400 to 500 pages were, I mean, there was like stuff that was going on, but it was also kind of slow for me, and I definitely like expected a lot. From what I heard, I expected a lot more from like the first 500 pages of this book. Like I don't know, I just thought it was gonna be like extremely like packed full of like politics and crazy stuff, and although like it was, but just not, I guess, to the extent that I thought. I don't know, it just wasn't exactly what I expected, but I almost liked that better because then it was easier for my brain to understand and it wasn't overwhelmed with a bunch of information, you know? I think I figured out the problem that I have with the series. So I've been in the Bookstagram and Booktube world for about 3 years. I've had my Bookstagram for about 3 years, and then I've been on Booktube for about 2.5. And there has been so many points in time within my like bookish journey where every single post, and I just could not escape this book and this series. Like I feel like I knew the entire plot of the series before I even read it because of everything that was shared, like the fan art, quotes, just literally everything was just ACOWAR throughout my entire feed and all over BookTube, and it's just like I literally could not escape it. So I feel like I developed some like negative feelings towards this series because I was like, I swear if I hear one more person say Rhysand's name, I'm gonna freak out. So I feel like that really took away from my reading experience because I saw way too much of it, and I just got so sick of hearing about it that by the time I actually read it, I just wasn't very like invested or connected to it because I was just annoyed of seeing so much of it, you know? And I feel like that's kind of how it is with a lot of like really hyped up series is, I mean, rightfully so, it's just like talked about and like shared about so much to where I feel like for some people it can just get annoying because then you kind of go into the books already knowing so much about them that it doesn't feel very like new to you. I don't know, maybe that's just a me thing, but that's why I generally tend to avoid like extremely hyped up books and book series. I am really happy though that I picked it up, and although I don't get any like warm, fuzzy, like tingly 5-star feelings from it, I can acknowledge that it's a really good series still. But that is the last book that I'm going to be reading in this video. I feel like continuing book series would have been a better take on this video because I didn't technically finish, well, I don't know, if I don't continue the rest of the series, technically I finished this one, but I didn't really like finish any book series, I just continued them. So we're on our way to finishing these book series. Let me know down in the comments below what book series you want to see me read next out of the ones that I have already started, and let me know if there's any other series that you guys want to see me read and review. I love you guys so much, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day and week, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah.